We got Gail Star again sends in $20. My man in here supporting. He says, for the lady who chose to turn her son into a mama's boy, can you let her know that she is damaging her son by making him very feminine and he will not be able to raise his own family in the future? What's your thoughts on that?
Okay. I have no problem if my kids are a mama's boy. That just means they love their mother. In saying that I'm raising him to be feminine, I'm not. Mm-hmm. I'm doing as much as I can of what I know for him to be a boy, to know the boy way, a man way, as much as I can. Because I'm not going to stand here and say, oh, he has to do what I do because I'm a woman. No. I do as much as I can to play both parts. That's why I say I love being a sports mom, because I could show him, like, this is kind of what boys do, what you kind of get into, whether it's sports.
Do you think you could ever raise your son?
Do I not correct my son when he's wrong? Yes. Do I have a certain way of seeing of what it is to be feminine and what it is to be masculine? Yes, and I always let him know that. And it's not judging no one or saying, how I raise them is the right way or the wrong way. But if it's fruity, I'm going to tell him, yo, that's gay. Like, okay. Dude, you got your legs crossed.
You're doing the best of your ability to raise your son.
If he's disrespecting somebody, talking to somebody, I cut him right off from there. It don't matter who. Especially when it's a woman, I always show him and explain to him and let him know when he's wrong.
Yeah, I got you.
You're supposed to protect them. You're supposed to be their either best friends or their provider. You're supposed to care for a woman and their feelings.
Okay. So I got another question for you though. So to follow up on his question. Mm-hmm. So you're pretty much saying that, you're doing the best of your ability to raise a son to try to make him, to become a man. So my question is, do you think that you can ever, you as a woman, as a mother, can ever raise and turn your son into a man?
I believe I can.
You believe you can?
I believe I can. Into a right man that he wants to be in. Because when he gets old, it's going to be his choice how he wants to view himself as a man. But I could do my best and show him, hey, I'm a counselor and I'm going to show you my expectations of what a man is. From there, if he wants to take it. My only goal is to show him how great he can be, how he is, and however he prefers himself.
My next question is for you. I'm very big on that.
I
get it. I get what you're saying. My next question is this. How can you show him what a man is if you don't even have that man yourself?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he doesn't have that. He doesn't have that.
No, that's not the question. I'll say it again. Like you said that you could still show him what a man is by you're saying some things on,
Like I say with sports, when I get him into sports, I make sure if there's someone else where I feel I can't counsel him. Kind of listen to me real quick. So then, because I have a question for you, kind of listen to me. So you're saying these things and it makes sense. I'm not saying that you don't make sense. I understand you. You're saying that you actually are aware of the difference of femininity and masculinity, and you're doing the best job you can to instill certain things into your son so he can get a perspective to become a man, right? So my question is for you, and then you said that I'm trying to do my best so he can be a man. My question for you as well, how do you even know what a real man is if you're not even in a relationship with the real man? If you don't even have an example of a real man yourself, how can you instill something into your son what you don't even have or truly know? So it is difficult. I'm not going to say that it isn't, or I could find one and they could show him.
Yeah.
No, but from my experience on seeing what my father gave growing up, as what it is to be a trustworthy man, what it is to be a man of God, I always try and instill what I've gotten from that in my way of showing him is, hey, you're supposed to treat people this way. You're supposed to humble yourself during these situations, I see
what you're saying. I'll give you a little my peace of mind on this, right? I truly believe that a woman cannot raise a boy into a man at all. truly incapable of it.
Well, there's women that have. There's people that have been very successful with only one parent, and others that have never seen their parents, are actors, are in what, Congress, however you want to place it. But
I'm also thinking, like, not to knock the mentorship part kind of thing, like, because it goes back to, like, you exposing him to sports.
Yeah.
You know, so he has his coaches, he has his teachers, he has other people to kind of show him what it might mean.
It takes a village to raise a child. So it takes multiple people, more than just one, to show you what it is to be a person you should be.
How do you know who is that perfect role model for your son to teach him how to be a man?
Because unfortunately, I wasn't instilled, obviously, properly to stay with one man.
Yeah,
you know,
well, that's the question.
I've tried to be in a relationship and find a person that I feel
and
I see is a good role model. That when they're around me, it's like, okay, hey.
Yeah, and
don't
that's
talk
all
to
you
your
can
mom
do
like
is
that,
try.
or
I understand
this is
that
what
part.
you do.
What I'm saying is this, right? I'm saying that a woman, being honest, all of y'all, there's no woman on this planet, no mother on this planet that can raise a boy into a man. She's incapable of it. It would never happen because you are not a man, right? So men, something about men instill into their sons integrity, decisiveness. You get what I'm saying? They instill masculinity. They instill a purpose and a sense of duty into their kids. So, and also discipline. Discipline is a huge thing. When a son is growing up, when a boy is growing up and he has an example of a man that he can follow and he sees the masculinity of that man, and what he's trying to do is that's like his superhero. That's literally like the kid. You got Superman, you got Batman, you got all of these cartoons. The reason why all of these superheroes was created is because of a father. Is because that is the goal for a son to be. I want to be just like my dad, right?
So can I ask a question?
With that being said, though, what I'm saying is there's certain traits that a woman just doesn't embody at all. Like, think about it. Y'all barely even know what y'all want to eat half the time. You're indecisive, generally speaking, right? Really don't know what you want to eat. A man needs to be decisive. He needs to be able to make a decision. The biggest thing is that you're higher in estrogen and you're more neurotic, right? Means that you feel more negative emotions.
But that has nothing to do with me trying to show my son how to be a man.
That has a big thing to do with it, right? Because he's the parent that you see. So if you are more emotional and you're more neurotic, your son sees that. Your son, you could do things and activities with your...
A parent is not the person who bears, but the one who raises. Right? So those who are around them...
Yeah, let me get my perspective out, right? I'll let you really speak. So what I'm saying is, in that dynamic, a woman has emotions and she's neurotic. And what she does is she, pretty much instills her own behaviors into the kid indirectly. And she does this because kids are very observant, meaning that you can have him in football, you can have him in all these sports, he can even have an uncle and other things around him. These are all other good influences, right? But you are still his main the main thing that he is observing, meaning that how you act, how you react to things, all of these things and characteristic traits that you embody, he's going to mimic to a degree. And usually in and we have statistics on it too, single mother households leads to degeneracy in kids. It leads to women on stripper poles and men in prison. It leads to emotional instability in children. And then that bleeds over to their teens and then to when they're an adult. That's just the facts of it. We have statistics on it. Most men in prison, like over 70%, come from single mother households. Most of the school shooters came from single mother households, right? Yeah. There's a thing when it comes to a man in a home, he is the disciplinarian, and kids naturally just listen to the father. Like if you ever been at home and you had your mom and your mom can say something to you. Daddy don't got to say much. He look at you and you know what's up. Not only that, there's a fear, right? Under respect and an ingredient in respect is fear. This is why kids respect the father more on what he says and the things that he does too. It's just like I kind of fear this individual. He's bigger. He's stronger. The voice is deeper. The masculine presence is just there, right? So that's the reason why a single mother can really never raise a boy into a man. And she can't raise, I'll even take it a step further. She can't raise a daughter into a lady. She can only raise that daughter into an adult. She can raise that son into an adult, but they would never, that adult boy would never be a true man. That adult girl would never be a true lady.
But that's why I said
fathers, the disciplinarian trait that fathers have is, what it does is it instills chastity inside the daughter that turns her into a lady, right? Meaning that it's like, I don't want to mess up my parents' name. I don't want to. The name comes from the father. That last name comes from the father. So their kids is looking at it like, this is my daddy's last name.
So you're saying I should take my son to his dad, or
that
I should make sure his father should be around?
I'm not speaking about you. I'm speaking in general. But I would say if that man is a decent man, it doesn't hurt to have the father around more.
I'm not saying I've never tried. He does not want to be around. Because I could call him up right now and say, can you help me with your son right now? Because a situation happened. What's he going to tell me? He says it all the time. English, Spanish, and whatever language he wants to say it.
He's Puerto Rican?
No, he's Dominican. He's going to say, that's not my responsibility. I'm busy. I have more important things to do. So that's why I say, like I said before, I didn't take it because it was for, like, I said I want to. No, because I understood.
Wait. He doesn't,
about my kids, like, having to take over that role of a man or having to be masculine.
Oh, yeah, I get what you're saying.
It's a choice that I need to be there for my son as much as I can. And I understood that in the beginning, that I'm not a man, I'm not his father. And I always say that, and I acknowledge it.
Yeah, you explained your backstory. I get it. No one's saying that.
I've said times where I'd be like, hey, this type of conversation, you need to have with your dad.
Got it. And no one's saying that it's like, oh, or are you saying that, if the dad doesn't want to be there?
No, but to imply that I'm already not raising him enough to be a man or to have his own family,
that's the harsh truth.
Different. It's how you're disciplined, how you're raised, how you were influenced throughout your years, what's going to decide and structure you on how you're going to be as a person. What you see individually, because 4 of us in a household growing up, we have 4 different experiences living in the same household, passing through the same experience.
Yeah,
right?
It's a multitude
and I have
of
3.
I get
so
what
there's
you're
3
saying.
boys where I'm going to make sure I'm going to do my best.
Please listen real quick. So there's a multitude of things that I truly understand what you're saying. And no one's knocking you. We're having a conversation, and I'm not speaking.
But the guy kind of did.
Well, it could be the super
he said,
chat,
I'm already,
right?
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to. So I maybe that could maybe triggered you. I'm just speaking.
It did.
I'm not speaking at you. I'm speaking at the symbol of what your situation represents.
That's
right?
what I'm saying. It's not all the time because, again, there's people that have been successful and they've only had one parent, whether it's just the dad
nothing is absolute.
or just the mom.
Yeah, nothing is absolute. So we speak in generalities, right? So it's like there's always exceptions to the rule where, people come from single mother households and they do pretty good, right? There's exceptions to the rule. I'm just letting you know that generally speaking, is going to be extremely, meaning that I'll say this. I come from a single mother household. I'll give you my example, right? The difference between me, I just had grandfather, uncles around, and I got 3 older brothers. So I already had masculine guidance, and my brothers was much older. Like,
so it's like mine.
12 years
when
older.
he's older, he's going to have 2 older brothers that's going to...
But all lived in the house, though, too. So it's a little bit different. So what I'm saying is, even then, right, I still didn't have that masculine guidance to guide me and guide the household, right? So with that being said, I had to discover certain things on my own, and it's much harder. But I have other brothers and other siblings and other friends that weren't raised in a single mother. No, I'm just saying that they were raised in a single mother household, and they really not men. You get what I'm saying? Like, they're not masculine. So, yeah, we know that there's exceptions to the rule. I'm letting you know that you're looking at one, right? But my mother, I'm going to tell you, my mother did not raise me into the man I am. She did not raise me to a man. I tell this to my own mom to her face. Yeah. Mom, you really didn't make me a man. You got me to the adult level. Then everything else I had was trial and error. Trial and error.
You'll experience it yourself.
Exactly. So the thing, what I'm saying is, it can be very hard on your son. So I'm truly letting you know, nothing you can do at all to raise your son into a man. He got to discover that on his own, and the exception, the percentage of men discovering that on their own, coming from a single mother, we got the statistics, it's extremely, extremely low. So that's just the reality. We got to keep it no Fugazee. But you had something, right?
Yeah, it was just like validating both, like the statistics, not just for fatherlessness, but motherlessness. Like having a single parent household is very difficult to be raised in, because there's that missing piece, that missing link of like what part of me is still that I need to know or need to remember or things like that.
Yeah, a nuclear family, both parents is always, I think, what's great. The funny thing is statistics show,
it's still,
and we're speaking statistically, right? Statistics show that single father households do just as good as two parent households. So that means that that shows statistically, numbers wise, it shows that a man is very, very important.
But a man does get paid more than a woman. So to support a child, the man doesn't have to do 50, 60-hour work weeks, because they're getting paid statistically more.
Because they're a man, and a woman has to work 3 times harder.
You guys are going down a rabbit hole now.
Yeah.
No, that is. I see what she's saying. She's saying, well, generally men get paid more.
Yeah.
So
because
that
I
means
wonder
that
if
they
the
have
statistics
more.
are skewed. But if it was a man doing it by himself, the child would be much better.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, I get what you're saying, but that really doesn't correlate, because money. There's a lot of people that have money. But they still end up not a man, because we're speaking about masculinity, right? We're speaking about a sense of duty and purpose for men. Which if someone has a sense of duty and purpose, it's a lower probability that they're going to be a degenerate and end up selling drugs, on drugs, or in prison, or doing some crazy stuff, right? So yeah, we know that funds and money does play a part in that. But what the funny thing is 2-parent household makes more than a single father household. So this is what I'm saying. It doesn't correlate if we're speaking, since you put finances in. So you got 2 parents and you got a single father. The 2 parents make more, but guess what? The single father, he makes less, but it does just as good as the 2-parent. So what I'm telling you is that it's something about the man, and a man being a father, being a disciplinarian, and truly instilling certain behaviors and traits into the kid and giving them guidance. There's things on this podcast that takes place where we ask ladies questions about giving advice, and generally speaking on this podcast, I think we had over 1,000 women, or almost 1,000 women, can't give advice. They really say, think about some of your answers. I say one or the other. Oh, well, I don't know. It depends. The man isn't like that. We're decisive, right? So no depends. We giving direction. So that's something, that's a trait that displayed here on this podcast that y'all just don't have in y'all, generally speaking, for a few of y'all. So if y'all don't have these things in you, but men generally do, kids need direction. Without direction, they're going to be headed for disaster.
It's like 2 different points, because I'm going from my criminal justice background, and everything depends. Like everything is gray in the court system. You have to kind of prove until guilty kind of thing. Like you can't just do this and say, well, it falls under this, so you're just going to go through that punishment.
I mean, the criminal justice and following law, that's a different type of, you can't compare that, because, you know,
deciphering what's good and bad.
Yeah, they're just trying to get that check to run around the system, and it's a lot of lying going on, and backdoor teen mom behavior.
And then the other end of kids, boy and girl, test boundaries, period. They're always going to test boundaries because they don't know what's right from wrong until someone tells them, like, no.
And men put their foot down.
Not all men.
We're not speaking about all men. We know that there are exceptions to the rule, and they're crappy men for sure. A person who feels like their boundary
was crossed will put their foot down.
Yeah. You know what? It's the generations that keep getting passed down. How my dad raised me, he learned how to love from watching his dad, my dad loved me the best that he could because what he saw. So, and that just keeps, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree and just keeps going down and down. And you want to make a difference, you need to change that outlook in a man.
To make her point, my dad is very strict. You know what I'm saying? When I mess up, he curses me out straight up. You know what I'm saying? You should have known better. Why'd you do this? You should have known better. You know what I'm saying? And when I spoke to my dad, he said, you know, the reason why he is the way he is with me, because his dad was very strict on him, like way stricter than he was on me. So
you actually had your dad in your life the whole time.
The whole time. My dad, like, a lot of people don't know, but my dad is very strict. He's hard to please. So I'm like on a constant battle trying to make my dad proud of me. You know
and look at that level of he's hard to please. Women are more, mothers are easy to please. It doesn't matter if the kid messes up. Baby, I love you. It's okay. You'll do better next time. I love you. You're just so nurturing and stuff like that.
Mine come with some crap.
She's always upset.
Get out of here.
That anecdotally, you gotta try to be both right now. So you She-Hulk and
it's not even that. Even with just being the mom part, I can't baby
I get what
them.
you're saying, but let me land my plane, right?
I can't baby them.
To the part of what he's saying, that characteristic trait that fathers embody, meaning that fathers are hard to please. So what this does is it gives the child a sense of purpose and direction to like, okay, I have to get my stuff in order so I could please my father. Mommy is easy to please. It's kind of like if I fall down, it's okay, baby. If I fall down, it's okay, baby. But my father, if I fall down, nigga, why you falling? Get up. I told you, stop falling, man. Look, you're going to make me smack you. You better than that. Why you tripping all the time?
Do you think it's
I
flipped?
trip? You don't see me trip, so why you tripping?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Because the father is like, the thing is this, right? Fathers are raising sons to be their replacement. You get what I'm saying? Like they're raising a son to be their replacement. He knows when I'm going, this is my legacy. My seed is in this kid. This kid is going to replace me when I die. So I'm raising my replacement. The mother isn't raising her replacement when it comes to a son. So it's much different. It's things that men embody and masculine men embody that they truly instill into their sons. That's all I'm saying. So if you like that clip and you want to watch more, click right here. But if you want to watch the full episode, click right here.